Hi everyone, it is time for a new reading vlog, and today we're doing a 24-hour readathon. I'm ready to read some romance and escape this world and have fun and just get cozy and comfortable and relax, rejuvenate, and all that good stuff. Please also ignore my wet hair. I did just wash it, but I didn't want to wait to start this. It is almost 10 p.m. and so I think that is going to be my official starting time, but I usually do the readathon in the way that I just like start at night and finish the next night, like before going to sleep. So that's probably what I'm going to end up doing. I will sleep and I don't want to stress myself out. I don't want to like treat this as, read a shit ton of things. I really just want to spend a long time reading and just, have fun and share that with you. I do think if I let myself think that I just can read however much I want, I'm actually going to end up reading a lot, but we will just be cozy and comfy, and, I hope this just brings a little bit of comfort to your day. So, as always, let's talk about the things that I'm in the mood for. And, we're probably gonna do something completely different, but like, I actually have gotten a little bit better at sticking to my TBR. We're gonna start with Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher, and I got to page 202, which means we have like a little bit more than 200 pages left. I'm obsessed with this series. I talked about it in the other vlog, but, I'll talk about it more later, but I love this book so much. I literally started on audio and I loved it so much that I was like, I have to read it physically. And I'm not even intimidated by how long it is anymore, which if you know me, is a big fucking deal. Because I always complain if any book is like over 400 pages. I'm like, that is so long. How the fuck am I going to do that? We'll be reading this 100%. So that is, I'm not sure if it's like exactly what we're going to start with. Because I have mentioned before, I do prefer reading ebooks or audiobooks in the evening, but I haven't been able to read this today yet, and I'm just like, I need to hang out with the characters again. So we'll see about that. I think my main two, actually three. I have like three options that are gonna be like once I finish Terms and Conditions. So first one is Forget Me Not by Julie Soto, which is a book that I got, I think last week it arrived. I've been looking forward to it since before it even came out. I love this cover, love the premise, second chance romance, a wedding planner and her grumpy ex must work together. Then we have a book that I got today that very much gives me Terms and Conditions vibes. Honestly, it actually might be really similar. At first, I thought, maybe it's going to be really different, but like the premise and I think like the vibes are literally the same. Because Terms and Conditions is like billionaire romance and they have to get married. It's like a marriage of convenience situation. And I'm pretty sure this also has a marriage of convenience situation, and that like all the heroes or all the characters or whatever in these books are like billionaires. And the last option here is Mixed Signals by B.K. Borison. And I just read In the Weeds like last week or 2 weeks ago, and obviously I adored it. I loved the first book, loved In the Weeds. This is the third book, and I have heard like people say this is their least favorite so far, but at the same time, the level that I loved the first two books in, like even if I love this a little less, I still think I'm gonna absolutely love it. And it is quite short. It is shorter than In the Weeds. It's 300 pages, and I don't fully remember what this is supposed to be about, but I think it is a cozy bakery situation. But the first sentence is Layla Dupree has given up on love. You know what? I think I should read this. Yeah, I think there's a high chance I will be picking this up. So these are, I think, all the main physical books. I do really want to read like a novella or something that I haven't read one in a while, and I used to be like obsessed with novellas. But again, I've been in such a strong physical reading mood, which is just wonderful because like it used to be a struggle and I used to have to, like push myself to read physical books, but now I'm like, I don't want anything else. But that being said, I do want to pick an audiobook. I haven't quite settled on what I want that to be. But I do think that's actually going to be like the first thing that I want to do. Oh my gosh, I do have one more book that I will absolutely be reading as well. that I started because I have just started way too many things and I need to finish them. So this readathon is really just absolutely necessary. And that is Work For It by Talia Hibbert. So I got to page 87, and so this is quite a short book. It is 240 pages, and I already read, 80 pages. So technically, like, the rest that I have is basically novella length. So we'll definitely be picking this up after Terms and Conditions. Honestly, I could even read it before. But I feel like, I don't know. I did start it before this one, and I don't even know, what the fuck have I been doing recently? Like, I always read multiple books at the same time, but it's usually like different genres or different formats. But now I'm just like reading 5 romances physically that are all contemporary and just like, but this is a very different vibe. This is like a romance that is very much like more real and raw and emotional. It deals with mental health really a lot. We have a romance between Olu and Griffin, and they are both very much like grumpy heroes in like very different ways, where they're both like they've both struggled with mental health. This deals with depression really a lot. It's also a small town romance, and again, like, I have not fully been in the state where I feel like I should be reading like books that deal with mental health, because my mental health is not great. But I still really want to finish this. I love this book, and you know what, I think this would be perfect for like the morning tomorrow. Maybe I'll talk to you soon. We're just gonna have a cozy, comforting time together, and I hope you're excited. I hope you enjoy this vlog, and yeah, I'll talk to you soon. So it's now midnight, and I did pick up Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher, and I got to page 276. So I didn't read super a lot. I think I read like 150 pages. I did end up starting to read at like 11 because I got distracted by YouTube and whatever. I'm happy that I picked it up. Actually a book that I told you I would read, and I'm reading it. So who's proud of me? But yeah, I am getting kind of tired, so I do think I want to read a little bit more of this, but then maybe I will switch to an ebook. I haven't really been feeling that, but I did just randomly find out that Cassie Mint has a new novella out, and like I told you, I really wanted to read a novella, and this one is supposed to be like an office romance, enemies to lovers or whatever, and it's like 68 pages. And some of the books by Cassie Mint I don't really like, but some of them are pretty good. So either way, it's gonna be a quick read that's gonna make me feel like I'm reading a lot, Which, again, I don't want to focus on reading super a lot, but I do actually want to read that. So I think I'll either do that now or in the morning. I'll tell you more about Terms and Conditions after I finish it, because I did already talk about it a little bit in the other vlog. I feel like so many people already know about this series, and my feelings have not really changed so far. I'm just enjoying it a lot. The chemistry between them is amazing. I love the tropes. I love the forced proximity. There were some things recently that happened that I didn't fully love in the way that the romance develops. It's just like, there was just something I wish it was a little bit different, a little bit better. But besides that, super fun. Love the banter, love the chemistry. I thought I would love this more than the first book. I don't actually think that's the case, but I am loving it a lot. Hopefully I won't wake up too late. I don't want to set an alarm. I hate alarms. But we're gonna do a lot more reading tomorrow. So I did start really late, so we're just gonna read until, really late tomorrow. Hi everyone, so it is the next day. Yes, I'm still wearing the same shirt, but it is about to be noon, and I always forget to update early on when I do 24-hour readathon, so I thought, you know what, even though I'm not like ready or I haven't read that much more, I want to talk to you now. So I did wake up at like 11. Not amazing, but you know what? It could be worse, and I'm ready to read now. So one thing that I actually ran into is a whole new book that I think the last thing I told you was that I wanted to pick up the Cassie Mint book. I still think I'm gonna do that, but I think it'd be nice to read that near the end when I don't really have strength for any more longer books anymore. But I did run into a novella that is like closer to 200 pages, but still, still under 200 pages. That just looked really fun, and it's called Not So Kind Regards by Cleo Evans. And I found this on Instagram, and it is an author I've never heard of before. I haven't read a monster romance in quite a while, and there was a time when I read like multiple because there was just like a lot coming out at the same time. And I mentioned back then that I personally just don't find the like monster part of monster romance exciting, or like, it doesn't give me anything when it comes to that aspect. But the thing that I do love is like paranormal romance, and I just read monster romance as paranormal romance, and I kind of imagine them more human than they might be. This is like a polyamorous queer monster office romance. And there's a book by Evita Weiss that is a monster romance, that's an office romance. Yours Insatiably. I'm gonna double check, I'm gonna put it up on the screen. Love Evita, love that book and all the other books. And I just loved the concept of like a paranormal office romance. That, it's a paranormal world, but like that setting is kind of normal. Absolutely lived for that. And so I was really excited when I found out this is kind of like a similar concept. And I do love reading polyamorous romance, and this also seems like enemies to lovers in like a part of the relationship, and then another part is just like a forbidden office romance that's like a boss and an employee or whatever. It is really fun so far. I only read like 12%, but I already feel invested and excited. The writing is really good, and so I'm really happy because again, this author has a lot of books, and if I like this, I will have a lot more to read. So that is, I don't know if I will read that first, because I do think I want to read this first. I don't have that much left. Actually, I have like, I think exactly 200 pages. I will tell you, I do want to watch some things today, and I do want to write today. So last night, I went to bed at like 2:30, and I actually ended up not just reading in the end. I wrote a little bit, and I got really inspired, and I think maybe I'll actually just mention writing a little bit more to you later today, because like I don't really talk about it that much, and I feel like that is actually one of my problems. And yeah, the last thing I will actually tell you right now, even though like I mean it is relevant, it is not relevant to this readathon, but it is relevant to me and my reading life. Yesterday I bought the Afterlight Helen Huang set. It's supposed to arrive next week, so you won't see it in this video, but you will most absolutely see it in some video, definitely multiple. I'm never gonna shut up about it. I never let myself buy any special editions, because I'm just like, books are already expensive as they are, and the exclusive editions obviously are a lot more expensive, and I just never really could afford it comfortably. And yesterday, I was just like, I can't buy this. I basically signed up for a wait list, and the set unfortunately will not be available to be sold anymore. Like, I'm sure some people will sell it individually at some point, I guess, or whatever, but if you ever want, like, a set from, Illumicrate or whatever, they do usually post on Instagram. I wanted this so bad. And yesterday I was like, I can't buy it, but then I was like, I will literally cherish it for the rest of my life. It's like gonna be one of the most prized possessions I have. I will fucking like not spend money on anything else anytime soon if I have to. And now waiting for it to arrive, like, it's giving me something to live for. I am literally so excited and so happy that I bought it. And I also just want to talk about it because I feel like so many people on BookTube, buy so many books and they have all these exclusive editions and all these special things. And you're just like, how do they afford it? And I just want to tell you, I am very broke. I do not make a lot of money right now. And I just want people to talk about this. Because, you always just see people who have, they're not necessarily rich or whatever, but like they have money to spend, and I'm just like, obviously you feel alone and being broke because no one ever fucking talks about it. And sometimes they're like, I'm so broke after this giant book haul, but then they go on buy, a bajillion more things. I just want to tell you, I, made the choice to invest into something that's going to bring me so much joy, and I'll just have to save money on other shit in the next few weeks. but it is fucking worth it. Anyways, I think I'll go watch some YouTube. I have a beautiful herbal tea in this beautiful mug. And so, yeah, I also did bake brownies yesterday, which is actually like a big fucking deal because I never bake anything. I thought that I hated it, and I actually don't. And I didn't really get it right because I basically forgot to buy chocolate, and the recipe was just kind of like you melt some chocolate and then you use cocoa, and I only used cocoa, which made it really dry. And I do like the brownies that are not dry. I'll shut up now, and I'll talk to you when we do some reading.
Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning.
Hi everyone, so I finally did my makeup and I am here to give you some updates. So I feel like I'm not reading super fast, but again, I don't feel bad about that because like this is about having fun, you know? And if we just read one book together, it's still gonna be a success if we have fun. So anyways, I have finished Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher. I did also read a little bit more of the monster romance, but I did not finish it yet. I feel like maybe I'll leave that for the evening because again, I do kind of want to read physical books more during the day. I did also pick up finally the audiobook that I want to read, so I'll tell you about that in a second. But I finished this, and one thing I'm happy about is the cover finally makes sense. Like, I was just like, what the fuck is that? Like, what's the point of this? It actually makes sense in the end. I loved this. So it unfortunately did not end up being a 5-star. I think it's like a 4-star, 4.5. I honestly think that I actually loved the first book a little bit more, which like the rating of that one is lower, and I've heard a lot of people say that they like this one more, so I'm like, it feels a little bit weird, but I do think that is my true feeling because like I adored the first one, and I still adored this one, but there was just like little moments that I think I mentioned that just I didn't fully love. There's just kind of like the situation where a few times the way they kiss is not like does not have 100% clear consent where they like clearly say it. It's just kind of like the like surprise kiss situation where they just don't talk about it first, you know? And I just like I didn't really love that, and some things that Declan did was just like, wow, he's such a dick. And like he's not, you know, but like it just went a little bit further than I would like. But I still loved it. I still think overall it is a beautiful romance. It is very emotional, angsty. The buildup is amazing. It is steamy and fun, and the way that they fall in love is just like really cute as well. So it's not everything that I wanted it to be, but I still loved it a lot. And I do think that this has a very specific audience, and I think if you're the right audience, it's absolutely gonna like, you know, hit all the right spots. But if you're not the right audience, I think you're gonna hate this. So again, if you do not like billionaire romance and very grumpy, emotionally repressed heroes, and you know, heroes who kind of act like assholes and like they get better along the way, but like they still do some shitty stupid things, and they do make up for it, but you know, like also very possessive heroes. And this one, Declan, is like, you know, when he realizes that he absolutely wants to be with Iris, nothing could stop him. And there's just a few moments. So if you know, if you don't like the possessive vibes, do not read this. However, if you like all these things, you're gonna fucking love this. So yeah, I loved it. I have the third book right here. And also one more thing, I fucking love Iris. Like, she is fucking wonderful. So in the fine print, we definitely have Grumpy Sunshine. Like, Zara in that book is super, super sunshiny, and I absolutely loved her. And in this one, Iris is more of like the, you know, snarky, cool businesswoman vibes, where she is also like very scared of falling in love. She absolutely does not want to be in a relationship, and it actually takes her longer to realize that, you know what, she's actually falling in love. And this one is actually supposed to, I think, like, we already met Cal, the hero of this one, and he does have a bit of a different vibe. Like, he feels kind of like more charming, less grumpy. But it is supposed to deal with like alcoholism and addiction. And so people do say it gets quite intense, so warning if you did not know that. And so I am a little bit intimidated that this is going to be like more emotional and deal with like mental health more. This book does actually deal with quite a lot of trauma in both of the main characters' pasts, and I do feel like it kind of scratches the surface. It's like, definitely doesn't feel like a book that delves deep into that and does a great job at like, you know, just dealing with it. I wouldn't say it does a terrible job. That like, if you like good, like really good mental health conversations and you don't want to read about something where it just kind of scratches the surface, I don't think this will fully work for you. But like, I do love books about mental health and, you know, all that, like one of my favorite things, literally. But like, again, this series is not like, that is not what I read this series for. But I do feel like this one might dive a lot deeper into those things. Could see myself starting it very soon because I am really obsessed with this series, and people said that like the couples from the first two books are in this quite a lot, which like, fuck yeah. And you know, but again, like, even though I don't want to focus on reading like the most I can today, I just do want to read some other things and like more other things than this. But definitely high on my TBR. I did read a little bit more of Work for It, but I think I need to not read this today. Like, I absolutely do want to read it. I want to read it soon, and I most definitely will. But again, this book deals with mental health a lot, and it does dive deep. And I don't want to say that the book is depressing, but it just has a vibe to it that is a little bit heavier, and it is absolutely beautiful. I love this book with my whole heart, but I don't think it's the right day for me to be reading this, so I'll just put it down, and I will be finishing it soon. Again, I don't know if I made it clear in this video, this is a reread for me. And so I absolutely recommend this book. Like, if you have not read it yet, I feel like not enough people, like, I feel like this is actually the book that probably not, but not enough people talk about this book or know about this book, I feel like. And so if you like emotional, beautiful romances and you would like to read a small town queer romance, you need to check it out. So yeah. That being said, I have been sitting like in front of my bookshelves, and so that means I like look at it all the time, and I might switch to a different Talia Hibbert book. If, you know, since this is like a self-care readathon situation where I really just want to do what feels right to me and anything that will make me feel better, I am pretty sure like this is like the best thing that I can do for myself. So I do think well, like, I don't know. I'll start it if I feel like it's, again, also not the right time. I'll just stop, but I feel like it might be the right time. So this will be my third time, I think, reading this book. As you can see, I have a lot of tabs. I, like, have a lot of lines underlined. And this is, like, I have called this my favorite romance of all time before. And I don't, like, I mean, it is true. It holds the spot with many other books. But the thing that I realized today, I think it's a bold claim and it feels like a little bit intense, but I think Samir, the hero in this, like, if there's a man that I could choose to like marry in real life out of like the romances that I've read, I think I would choose him. And so obviously that makes this book very special. And the thing is, why I love this so much, this is also a book that no one knows about. And I like would love to keep this book to myself, you know, because it means everything to me. I don't want to hear anyone say that they don't like it or whatever. If you don't like it, do not tell me. But this basically deals with past abuse, and the heroine was in an abusive relationship, and she's currently pregnant, and she's staying in this small town. She's away from everyone, and it's like the town she grew up in. And so she finally got out of the relationship, and she is also just still feeling very alone, and obviously has a lot of trauma and pain that she deals with. And Samir is like her childhood love, her first love, and so this is kind of like a second chance romance. It is set at this small town, and Samir is just completely there for her, and the care and love that he gives her is just like the most beautiful thing on earth. And so that is why I love this book so much. And honestly, like I want what they have so bad. So I think I need this, but I still do want to read either like one of these three books. I don't know if I could like finish or like read the whole thing. This update has been really long, and I said I wanted to mention writing later, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. I don't know what I want out of these, so I just need to think about it. But I've been struggling with writing really a lot for like 1,000 years at this point, and yesterday I realized that I really just got super lost in feeling like I have to write what others like will want me to write in a way. Like what I think I should and what I think people could like the most, because I started feeling that what I want and just like me on my own, my ideas, my like what I want in books is not enough, is not good enough. And I realized last night that obviously, you hear people like say like how you need to write what you want to read and all that shit. And like I was just getting to that thought, and I realized that I am terrified that that is not good enough to be successful as, for me as an author. But at the same time, I could feel the like truth and power that like of the fact that I need to write for my heart right now. I need to write whatever feels right for me to heal, to feel alive, to just have that joy and passion of writing. And I just want to say, like, obviously readers will have thousands of different preferences. Like, I see this so much as a reader on BookTube, where other booktubers talk about, how like they love angst and they really enjoy the drama of third act breakups, and here I am in every vlog talking about how, it hurt me and I hated the third act conflict. So the amount of variety is infinite. And so obviously there's people who love long descriptions and super intricate plot, and then there's people like me who love books that are super focused on the romance and the characters and the dialogue and the time that they spend together. And so, yeah, there's gonna be a shit ton of people who hate my books or just don't like them that much. But hopefully, if I write from my heart, there's gonna be people who have a similar heart, who will feel seen and who will love everything about it. I just have to believe that and hope for that, because I just fucking want to write again. So, yeah, anyway. Last thing, the audiobook that I decided for is, Radiant Sin, I think, by Katie Robert. It might be the wrong title, but I do think that's what it is. It's going to be on the screen. And it is the Apollo Cassandra book. And I wasn't sure I was in the mood for it, but I really wanted an audiobook, and this one is just kind of convenient. And it's supposed to be 3 hours, and at this point, like 2 hours 45 or whatever. And I feel like I could do that. Like if I listen to like an hour now, and then I could finish it later tonight. And I will go. I do really want to write. I also kind of really need to edit. And so, yeah. It is a while later, and I just finished Damaged Goods. And sorry about the lighting. It's 8 p.m. now, and the sun does set like after 9 p.m. here still, but it is gloomy as shit. So yeah, but I just finished this book. And like it like I don't know. I don't even know what to say. Like it means absolutely everything to me. Again, Samir, I want him. And Laura, I love her. I want to be her friend. I want to give her a hug. And I just can't handle how much They mean to me, and I just like this book is everything to me. And I need to like reread it like once a year at least. Honestly, at least once every half year, I think. I completely inhaled it. I have not stopped to breathe in the middle of this book, and I'm so happy that I decided to reread it. I cried and melted, and it is just the sweetest, most beautiful fucking romance. And it gets a little bit steamy, and just the main thing about this romance, again, that just is absolutely everything to me, is just how much they care for each other. And like they both have been through a lot, and their childhoods were super difficult, and then obviously Laura's past relationship was horrible, and they just find a home within each other, and it is just the most beautiful thing in the world. Yeah, that happened. I honestly don't have any more words to say about the book, and yeah, now I'm not sure what's gonna happen because I did get into a really strong writing mood, and I want to make the most of it because like I will have work the next 2 days, and just the feeling is really special, and I just, I don't want to hold myself back from writing right now. So we will read a little bit more at least, definitely, but I'm not sure just how much more. So I just want to manage your expectations, and I also want to calm myself down. So I think right now I will go write for a little bit, and I'll make myself tea and get cozy and read more. After reading this, I think I want to read Mixed Signals. I definitely don't think I will be like reading the entire book tonight. Maybe like I could read fast and like I could do it, but this is just not a book that I want to rush, but I want to start it at least. I am feeling kind of tired and emotionally like questionable. But yeah, so I will go make the tea, and I will see you soon.
Fake to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you.
Hi everyone. So it is like 2 days later. I forgot to update you. Well, I didn't fully forget. Basically, I just got super tired, anxious, and uncomfortable at the end of the readathon, and I did read a little more. I will update you on that right now, but that is why I did not have the energy to do a final update. And the day after that, I couldn't really talk to you in the morning because I had work and whatever. So I'm here now. And yeah, I didn't finish anything else. But I mean, I did finish, I guess, two things. I wanted an audiobook, and I think I told you about the Katie Robert, and I did listen to a little bit of that, but I was just not in the right mood for it. I do think I want to read it soon. I do think I'm gonna like it, but I was just like not feeling it. And so I went to Scribd, and I was like, what is calling my name? And Collided was calling my name. So obviously, I didn't realize, yeah, in this video, obviously, we read Terms and Conditions. In my last vlog, or like 2 vlogs ago, I read the fine print, and I also like a month ago read the first book in this series. And so this is the second book in this series that is like F1 sports romances. That is Lauren Asher's first series, and it is still really popular, but it's definitely not as popular as the fine print. I think I'm gonna love this one. I think this is gonna be even better than the first book, and like so far it is very promising. And so I listened to like 20% because it is a very long book. Goodreads says it's 560 pages, and so I knew like that is actually why I didn't want to start the audiobook at first, because it said that it's like 11 and a half hours or something, which isn't the craziest thing. And on the speed that I listen to, it's like 4 hours or something. But obviously for a 24-hour readathon, it's not great. But then I was just like, fuck it. I want to read it, and I'm not going to finish it, but I want to start it, you know? And so we basically have like a not really forbidden romance, but like slightly, where we have the hero and heroine kind of like on opposite teams of the F1 situation. It does kind of have the trope of like a slightly nerdy heroine and the hero who's like not really like a bad boy, but just like charming, flirty, slightly questionable vibes. And the heroine is kind of like bored of her love life, and she writes this list of like exciting adventurous things she wants to do. And the hero like accidentally sees that, and he's like, I'm gonna help you out with this. And they have a lot of chemistry, and they feel like they should not start anything, but at the same time they're very attracted to each other and, you know, drawn to each other. And yeah, whatever. So I'm way too tired to be making any sense right now, but it is just like a, again, addicting, fun romance. I am not very far in, and, you know, so I can't tell you how it's going to continue, but I do think it's going to be a very fun romance. So again, I feel like if you don't like slightly as holy heroes, I feel like we do have that a little bit in here. Do not read this. But if you like, I do really like the premise so far, and I am vibing with the two main characters. I think it's gonna be super fun, and I'm just like, I haven't had time to keep reading since, but I think once I can, tonight I want to pick it back up, and I think I'm just gonna fly through the rest. I was missing books like this in my life. Again, I love realistic, beautiful, healthy romances the most in the world, but I need some escapist, less realistic shit in my life that just allows me to forget literally everything and just have a great fun time reading something that, you know, yeah. So that's that. I did not finish the monster romance, unfortunately. I was just ended up also not being in the right mood for it. So, yeah, I don't want to say this was a flop because the only thing we flopped at was like finishing a shit ton of books, but I told you that I would just, you know, focus on having fun. Yeah, and hopefully we finally have a slightly shorter video because I've had so many long vlogs, and I personally love watching long vlogs, but I feel like I don't know if anyone else is going to want to see that. So, let me know how you feel. Do you like shorter vlogs or do you like longer vlogs? And if you made it this far in the video, leave a pencil emoji down below. Is there a pencil emoji? And I'm gonna see you soon in another video. Bye!